I'm standing by the winter scene on one of the two Big Bend Model Railroad Association HO layouts. We'll show some videos of the two HO layouts now.
Okay, put it down. Trying to get it. Good, how are you?
Well, we had a good time at the toy train show today in Tallahassee. It's still on, it's still Saturday. We may go back or we may not. I'm taking a break though at my own little HO layout. This happens to be a Marx flat car. These little metal bulldozers once had rubber treads which melted and damaged the little wheels a little bit. And the rubber damaged the deck of the car, so I repainted just the deck, but not the sides, just to save it because it's kind of a neat car, kind of rare, by Marx. But I'll show you what I got in the way of HO at the train show today. There's lots of good HO stuff there, and the dealers, I find, are happy to negotiate quite often. This is an Athearn. I'm gonna have to put a coupler on it. I upgrade these anyway. It has the steps, which is good. I got it because it's kind of unusual. From the forest of Western Canada. I've never seen this one before. CANFOR, CANFOR, Canadian Forest Products Limited. And there's a reason why I bought this Canadian car, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. And then, because I liked it, I got this Spreckles hopper sugar car. It has the opening and closing hatches, or whatever you want to call them, at the bottom. Hopper doors, hopper bays. Has the horn hook couplers on it and the brake wheel. It's in pretty good shape, except a little bit of dirt here on the ceiling, on the roof. It came with a cover, which is important. Rolls pretty good as it is, though. I think it's possibly Mantua. I'm not sure. I always need more light to know about these things. Well, I'm gonna have to guess it's Mantua. I don't know. I think that's cast, that base, but I don't know. I could have spent money all day long and found stuff all day long at the show. This is a refrigerated box car. Athearn once again. horn hook couplers. It has the hatches and the brake wheel. The steps are there. I got it because I like the logo on it. In bottles and fountains it says Green River, Chicago, Illinois. Now I tell you, around here if a river's green, you think of an algae bloom. But that's the name they have on there, Green River. And it rolls pretty good. And then even though I didn't need it, because I already have two of them, I got the Dairyman's League. $3 is what I paid. Actually less than that when I got done bargaining, but this one seems to have a cast base. I think it's old Mantua or maybe Tyco. That's the horn hook couplers on it, not the knuckles. And it too rolls quite nicely, as you can see. Not as good as the other two though. So that's a nice little short consist right there that we're building up. Now let's see what we got in the way of HO locomotives. It doesn't want to stay up. I guess the springs are getting worn. Something I've wanted. I've been watching them on eBay. They always go for too much money. Well, that's not the one. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me open this other box. Alright, these two are the Canadian Pacifics. And I bought these, and that's why I bought that Can 4 Forest boxcar. But here's the one I was about to talk about that cost too much money on eBay. These are all Athearn blue box locomotives, as you can see. There were several of these there. I could have bought several more if I'd wanted to, and I wish I had, but there's only so much money in the world. What is it, a DD60 maybe, or something like that, or a DD40? It's twin motored, flywheels, very large locomotive. Let's see, here's an F3, an Athearn F3. Look at that, to compare the two. This one has a horn hook at one end, and knuckle at the other. We'll see if it runs. The gentleman said that he does repair and refurbish his trains before he sells them. But then of course they sit and sit and sit, and you know how that is. So, having been gone over and then stored for a long time, we'll see what happens if I try. Assuming I get it on the track, we'll see what happens. Now, I've never run anything this so large as this. This is an 0880 wheel arrangement. Tremendously large. There was one there in Burlington Northern, one there in Union Pacific. I think there were two of them here and there in Southern Pacific. I couldn't decide between the Southern Pacific and the Union Pacific, but I settled on the Southern Pacific. They're noisy. As far as I'm concerned, that's the sound system. I like the natural sound of trains. There's a little nudge. Obviously, it's probably got some dirty wheel issues. The headlight's working, but it's going backwards because it's updated. So that's pretty good, folks. Layout if I keep getting locomotives this large. Well, let's look at the situation now. That is really something. I think they call that the Black Widow paint scheme. Now these locomotives are not the same. I mean, they're the same type of locomotive, but the paint is a little bit different. CP rail system. It's got the Canadian American flag, a mounted policeman up front, silver smokestack, Athern. This one has the knuckle couplers. It's an 0660 wheel arrangement. Metal handrails. I'm going to try to avoid buying any HO trains that have plastic handrails from now on. I have a few like that and I'm fed up with them. I think I'll stay with old school. Well, that one runs. Headlight lit up. Isn't that nice? Yep, came off the track. Went over the re-railer and derailed. Alright, we're going to try again. Last time it derailed. I just noticed some nice roof details. These little marks, things painted on there with lettering that I can't even read. The little bitty horns. Beautiful but well detailed locomotive. And it seems to have lots of power. Well, hopefully it's on the track. I'm going to run it the other direction first in case that switch track through. There we go. Now let's see what locomotive number 2 Canadian Pacific looks like. I can't really tell what that emblem is. This emblem right here. I have no idea. It doesn't have the fancy flags and all that the other one has. It doesn't have the mounted policeman. But it does have the details and everything like the other one does. We'll run them as a pair this time. We'll see now. That's pretty nice. It's got a tough looking expression on the face of that locomotive. You wouldn't want to meet that in the dark alley. No headlight on this one, maybe it's burned out. Run quite well as a pair. I'm very happy with it. Let's see how it works with a momentum feature on this transformer. Or power pack as they call them. Alright, it's on. We'll see if what it does is the momentum builds up. There it goes. Slowly gaining speed. We used to have a lot of fun with basic HO. Down on BCC and the town and everything. Growl with that natural sound. Well, with momentum on, I'm going to cut the power right now. Power's off. Into a slow stop. kind of like that momentum feature. Now let's see how slow it'll go. Pretty slow. That's slow enough for me. It's tempting to go back to the train show and run this on the big HO layout. Actually, they have 2 HO layouts today for the Tallahassee Club. Well, there's one more thing here. Let's see what it is. The Durango cattle car. Isn't that nice? By Tyco. Which means that I'll have to put the Durango diesel engine on the track. I'm so happy that I bought these Athearn blue box locomotives. They're hard to beat. They had a nice Florida East Coast River Rossi locomotive there, but I've had it with trying to keep River Rossi running and that kind of stuff. Just too much bother for me. Sometimes it runs good, but it never runs as good as Tyco, the blue box era. As far as I'm concerned, that's when they perfected the HO diesel engine, and they've been working their way down again, downhill ever since. They get it right, and then they change. Okay, we happen to have the Durango within easy grabbing reach. As far as I know, the only consists that go with this that Tyco made, that match the road name, is the cattle cars and an illuminated caboose, which would look like this, only say Durango. I'm not aware if they made anything else of that sort to match this engine. Yes, it's not a Athearn, it's a Tyco. It runs okay. It has metal handrails at least. And it's never going to run as good as a Tyco, as a Athearn is. But it is what it is, and it's fun. A little different sound, more squeaky sound to the pancake sound motor. Midlight's not working, but it's running well. Looks good with that gas. That's that whole Well, that's all the HO that we got at the train show. The show's still going on, and it's going on tomorrow until 4. It started today at 9 a.m. It's a 2-day show, 2 large buildings, full of layouts, and there's so many vendors there. I just hope the vendors do well. They seem to have done well last year. This year there was more demand than the club could meet. I think there were about 10 tables more they could have sold out, but they didn't have the space. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.